Coach, you know what always impressed me, how you beat Florida State to win the 1996 National Championship.
And I was really impressed with your 06, 08, and 09 Gator teams.
And the way you coached Danny to the Heisman Trophy.
A lot like what you did with Tim Tebow.
To the Swamp and the Gators, with the best beverage served at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. 100% agave, Los Landeros tequila, aged in bourbon barrels for a smoother taste.
He's got the 1966 Heisman Trophy, the 1996 National Championship Trophy, and 7 SEC trophies. Now he's got a new trophy, a can of beer. Steve Spurrier was the head ball coach. Now you can call him the head beer coach. Head Beer Coach 1966 Lager is available in 16-ounce cans at Gator games and stores all across Gainesville. You can also get it in the can or on draft at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Refreshing in all kinds of weather, Head Beer Coach 1966 Lager, a legend in a can.
From the Spurrier's Gridiron Grill Studio, WRUF Gainesville, W251CG Gainesville, WRUF FM HD2, and on the WRUF radio app. You've heard his voice for more than 2 decades.
Out of the shotgun, pistol formation, pulls it back. Here comes the ball, near side, wide open, and it's caught. Is he in bounds? Yes, he was. Second TD pass of the game.
Now, winter has come to Gainesville and joined Gator Nation.
Telvin Smith of the Jaguars joins us here on Football Sunday on ESPN Radio.
It's the Sports Lab with Kevin Winter, right here on WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM.
Flushed out of the pocket, throws back to the end zone, and is knocked away!
And featuring the next generation of sports talkers. Today in the lab are Lauren McGill and Michael Tubbs. Now, here's Kevin Winter.
Some days just get away from you. They just start running and running and running and running, and the beauty is, the faster the day goes, the quicker we get to Saturday and we get to college football. Welcome in, everyone. A Wednesday edition of the Sports Lab with Kevin Winter here on WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM, 1037 HD2. Streaming anywhere in the world, the WRUF mobile app. Check out the social media platforms. Give you one guess as to what the letters are. Yep, WRUF. And also our YouTube page at WRUF, home of the Gators. McGill and Tubbs riding shotgun today, 2 Sports Lab students. The way the show works, you guys used to go Monday and Friday. We now go Monday through Friday because we have 12 students. I've been doing this for a long time. Why not do 5 days a week, right, guys?
Yeah.
Why not? You know, I want to, before we get to the start, I got a question, and I don't want it to escape me. You opened up by just saying, football's right around the corner. This week's been hectic, but it is here for everybody on Saturday. Is this what's a better time of the year, looking forward to football? Is it this time, week 1, season hasn't started yet, or right before the New Year's 6 bowl games?
Okay, you're asking a question to different audiences. And follow me here. You guys in college football land, for all of you who don't have professional teams or who aren't really close and you're more embedded in the world of college football, your question is valid because it's a choice. Is it the New Year's 6 or now the playoff? Yeah. So let's go to the beginning of the 12-team playoff when you find out who those teams are. So that first week, that's a Friday night on ESPN, and then the 3 triple-header games on Saturday in round 1. If you ask a football fan in an NFL town, the best week is 1 week from today, because 1 week from today is the last day without NFL regular season football until the Super Bowl.
But you know what? I would argue that all of those NFL fans, if not all of, let's say the ones who have already grown up, matured, if you will, and they're adults now. And
hang on, you're saying an NFL fan matured, Lauren? I love that.
I'm trying to.
You're trying to be nice.
Yeah, I don't want to bother anyone too early in the show.
It's okay.
But we're talking to adults now. I would argue to say that when they were in our shoes,
yes,
it was like you transition over to that week from Saturday when it's the eve of their NFL regular season. But when they were in our shoes, it was the same thing. Like this is the day, or Friday's the day that feels like Christmas Eve.
I'm with you 100%. So, Tubbs, to answer your question, and Lauren did a good job doing it there, I'm with Lauren. It's the days leading up to week 1. Now, last week, how do I say this without getting in trouble? Last week, you gave someone a taste. You just gave them a little bit. Like if you baked cookies, you gave the little kid a crumble of the cookie.
Yeah, a little bit of cookie dough.
You got a little cookie dough.
Before it was cooked.
Or you got the brownie batter, right?
Yeah.
I'm a huge brownie batter guy.
Like the spoon?
The spoon? How about I only cook half the batter?
Oh, okay.
The other half of the batter sits in the silver bowl, and I just sit on the couch spoon feeding myself out of
we're
it.
on two different sides.
Yeah. I'll do that, right? So that was a little bit of, I got the spoon taste last week with week 0. This week, I get all the brownie batter mix. I think that's better because part of it is hope. Every team, whether you are crazy enough to believe that Team X, that an SMU can win, SMU believes they can win entering last year, and they proved it. Teams that don't have a shot, you actually can believe in week 1 you have a shot. Except, of course, for LAU Brooklyn. Those poor Sharks who are coming to town here on Saturday. Yeah. But I would, to answer your question, I would go with leading up from a college town. And I'm seeing this now in and around Gainesville, having now been here for 2 months, embedding myself in here. This is now my home. I'm seeing that it's leading up to week 1. We've just done so much talking. It's like Billy Bean in Moneyball. Brad Pitt, when he keeps saying the guys at the table, you're just talking and talking and talking. That's all we have been doing all summer long. Now we actually get some action.
But that's also us. Like, we're in the sports side of the college where we're talking about it every single day, all summer. That's all that's been on our minds, versus the students who are just looking forward to going out and tailgating and being in the swamp again, or like counting down the days for like football season, versus we're looking at it like an analytical side. You
really are. Michael Tubbs, Lauren McGill, hanging out on a Wednesday here in the Sports Lab with Kevin Winter.
Yeah, I don't.
What would your answer be? Because you asked the question. Better time, better Christmas present. Week 1 of college, like the Friday before week 1 of college football, or the days leading up to the college football playoff that Friday and Saturday?
I think definitely, like you said, for the entire college football fan base as a whole, you can be delusional week 1, but there's something about even heading into week 1, you're waiting for the playoff. The playoff is the thing you're looking forward to. Even if your team isn't there, the games you're getting from that, the expectations of the play that you're going to get out of those and what will happen, hoping for the upset with the underdog. I'm probably leaning towards the playoff.
All right. It's all about the journey.
But you're right, it is, Lauren McGill, because, and this is what I watched this and I could see this from afar, being at ESPN, when I'm covering all conferences. But I've always known it in the SEC because on Saturdays when I'm thinking, Alabama's a 22-point favorite at Vanderbilt, this game's not even close, and then whoopsie, Vanderbilt shocks the world, right? They pull the Colin Elamine from UConn. They shocked the world. This is where the SEC is different. And this is, by the way, what Billy Napier's got to navigate, because it's not just the schedule, but it's the teams. So there's the teams that you're thinking that they're going to lose to, or potentially could lose to. But obviously, if you go on the road, those are always opportunities to fall as well. This is where it all goes sideways. Billy Napier had his weekly press conference, weekly teleconference. So here's how it works. The SEC, and all conferences do it. They have a teleconference for the media members for around college or around the conference, because you can't get an opportunity if you're in Florida, if you're in Gainesville, you're not going to really pay attention to Brian Kelly, but you get an opportunity to listen to what these coaches say. You guys were listening in for Billy Napier early this morning. Anything that Billy said that kind of struck you coming out of the press conference or his teleconference this morning?
Yeah, somebody asked him about Aiden Mizell and about him having a breakout year, and he kind of talked about just that he was a late bloomer physically. He's now matured, but there's still some things he's got to work with. And one of those things he said, quote, "I think he needs to continue to develop as a route runner, just the entire route tree inside and outside."
Excuse me?
To me, that
excuse me?
To me, I mean, my first thought there was, so is he starting or is he not starting? If I got my head coach talking about one of my top names for a starting receiver and saying he's got to be a better route runner, there's a lot of other options that he could go with on this team.
This is true, but I also feel like, yes, there's a lot he needs to learn according to Billy, but this is kind of the game where it's almost like, it's week 1, it's official, but it's almost like a scrimmage in a sense, because it's LAU, like Vegas doesn't even have it on anything. Like, it's not like a big game that if he were to read the field wrong and he were to run a route wrong, like, it's not something that I think honestly anyone would notice, including LAU. So does he start?
I don't agree with that at all. If you're running the wrong route, I think
No,
that's the first
that's
thing
what
you
I
would
mean. I'm
notice
talking
if there's a
fans.
hiccup. Oh, well, yeah, the fans don't know.
That's what I'm talking about.
But Billy and DJ for sure will know.
Yeah.
That's-
But
yeah,
if
go ahead,
something
Lauren.
were to go wrong week 1 with him and he learns from that, I'd rather have him learn it now than going into LSU in a couple weeks.
Let me take this side of the coin. Kevin Winter with you, the Sports Lab with Kevin Winter. She's Lauren McGill. He's Michael Tubbs. Here on a Wednesday, noon to 6. We go live and local, all Gator talk all the time, mixing some NFL, mixing some other Gator sports as well. But obviously here as football season is right around the corner. A lot diving into the college football season in this Florida Gator season of hope. With Billy Napier basically saying that Adam Mizell needs to learn better route running skills. That to me is that tells me he's told them in person. It's not registering. Now I'm going to put you on blast a little bit and let you know you're right, Lauren, when it comes to here. Whoever we see Saturday, you've got an opportunity. Now I need to see you. I'm telling you, you're not playing well. Mm-hmm. You're not doing what we're asking. You're not running the route tree the way it is supposed to be run. You've got a shot on Saturday when I play you, because you will play. Because I mean, what? We could dress 90 or 80-something players on Saturday. I bet a lot of them are going to play. My boy Sean Kelly is going to have a lot of work to do on his spotting board. You know, our boys, our friends, our students over the Orange and Blue Network, the student broadcasters, you're going to have a lot of work to do on those spotting boards. You're going to need a lot of names and numbers for all these players this weekend. Billy Napier to me is telling Mizell, get your you know what together. You got a chance on Saturday. Show me that you're picking up whatever it is, no matter who the quarterback is.
Right. Because didn't you say, like, there are other people who can obviously play in his place? Isn't that something that you would
Yeah, I think when you're looking at a guy like Aiden Mizell, I think as far as who you want to play at receivers, I think J. Michael Sturdivant is a guy that can take that speedster role from him. I think Tank Hawkins is one of those. Vernell Brown could potentially kind of be that. So I think there's depth. The depth of this receiving room is, if you're not doing your job, you're the easiest people to replace on this team.
I agree. And that's why I think that in the question of if he does start, I would say yes. Because if Billy starts to see that he's not doing what he wanted him to do, then he has, because of the depth, he can be replaced like that.
Yeah, and I think another interesting thing is what we heard from DJ at the SEC Media Day over the summer was he wants to get better at knowing everything happening on the field as far as reading the defenses, knowing where everybody on offense and defense should be at all times. And if you're not running the precise routes and you're not as clean as the team wants you to be, that's one thing to look out for. And on the flip side of that too, you know, you got the speedster.
Tank? No,
yeah, you got Tank.
Yeah.
Lost my train of thought.
Yeah,
on
I
where
get
was
you.
Going with that one.
That's all right. Well, hey.
Sorry, DJ.
There we go.
There was a caller, I believe, on Friday, and
Okay.
he brought up a great point in that he talked about the backyard football that DJ Lagway plays.
Yeah,
right? And
I remember that.
When it deconstructed, he's running and scrambling out of the pocket protection, right? And that might work for some of these games, but that's not something where you want to be a national championship contender. You want your plays to work. If you need to rely on the scrambling and backyard football, you can do that. But when you call a play, you want it to be precise. And I thought that was a great point that the caller made, and something that we're going to really be looking at this year.
Right. Especially in week 1.
All right, she's Lauren McGill. He's Michael Tubbs. I'm Kevin Winter. It is Sports Lab with Kevin Winter. We're off and running here on a Wednesday. We got a brew. We got Getman running the 1s and 2s this afternoon. More from Billy Napier's weekly teleconference. He's going to speak to the Gainesville media coming up later on tonight. I'll be over there over the Hefner Training Complex. And also, Billy not just talked about some of his players. Billy talked about something that is near and dear to the heart of every Gator football fan. We'll give you that story coming up next. It is the Sports Lab here on a Wednesday. Kevin Winter with you on WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM, 103.7 HD2.
WRUF Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Nick Abreu. Florida Volleyball plays an exhibition match against Czech club PVK Olim Praha tonight to stay sharp for its game against Norfolk State on Sunday. The Gators are coming off of a win against number 3 Pitt. Florida football gets its season started against Long Island on Saturday. Kicker Trey Smack spoke to the media after hitting a 69-yard field goal in practice about the upcoming game.
think we take every single game the exact same way. We'll have the exact same structure. So I view it as another opportunity. I view it as the same opportunity as if we were going to play Texas or LSU. We need to do everything the exact same way. We're going to get new routine here, and Coach is very directed on routine based. So every single week is another opportunity for us.
Game is set to air on ESPN Plus and SEC Network Plus Saturday at 7.
Dave Mays Automotive, we get the bugs out of your car. Hey, Steve Russell here. I've seen a lot of great sports teams in my day, but it's really hard to find a team that can sustain excellence over a long period of time. That's why what Dave Mays Automotive has done is so impressive. This year, they're celebrating their 50th year in business, and I can tell you, they've done a great job for me, just like they'll do for you. Brakes, AC, tires, oil changes, and so much more, including their famous bug check, where they go over your entire vehicle to ensure there's no unexpected problems down the road. Dave Mays Automotive is located at 2905 Northeast 19th Drive, in the industrial complex behind the Sunnies on Waldo Road, and online at DaveMaysAutomotive.com. Dave Mays Automotive. They get the bugs out.
Dave Mays Automotive. We get the bugs, all of them bugs, out of your car.
An official message from Medicare.
I'm saving money on my Medicare prescriptions. Maybe you can save too. With Medicare's Extra Help program, my premium is zero and my out-of-pocket costs are low. Who should apply? Single people making less than $24,000 a year or married couples who make less than $32,000. Even if you don't think you qualify, it pays to find out.
Go to ssa.gov/extrahelp. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Summer's winding down, and we know you want to enjoy what's left of it. But before you celebrate this Labor Day weekend, plan ahead and know all your options. If you drink, don't get behind the wheel. Instead, designate a sober driver or catch a ride service. And if you are the designated sober driver, commit to staying sober. Celebrate responsibly and remember to drive sober or get pulled over. This message brought to you by the Florida Department of Transportation.
Hey, it's Jeff Cardozo.
And Pat Dooley.
Immediately after the Sports Lab, stick around for the tailgate right here on WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM.
This is Gator Country.
Yeah, Pat, certainly is. Gator Country now rides on WRUF 6 hours a day, Monday through Friday. 98.1 FM, 850 AM. The Sports Lab with Kevin Winters. 20 years at ESPN Radio as a national studio host for all of the ESPN Radio major events. And now I've got the Sports Lab students, Lauren McGill, Michael Tubbs. Got 12 students that, I guess I'm your instructor. It's weird to say. Yeah. Hang on. All of you need to check out the YouTube video just in case we got Lauren's face on that one. Yeah. No.
You're just a guy.
I just sit in an office. Yeah. I just got two spots. You guys come down and check. I just make sure everything's up and running. Michael Tubbs, before you get back to Billy Napier, you asked the question earlier about maybe like a better day or a better time of year for college football or for football fans, opening for the college football season and the opening for the college football playoff. It always gets me thinking. Times of year for sports fans, obviously March Madness mixing in with the Masters, mixing in with baseball. I'm always a huge fan of that time of year. NBA playoffs are getting ready to kick in, Stanley Cup playoffs. I am pretty fond, however, of the beginning of the college football season. The baseball playoffs are right around the corner. The U.S. Open's going on in Flushing Meadows, New York, and every 2 years the Ryder Cup. So to me, fall is it's pretty awesome.
Not a July fan?
Hang on. Other than the fact that it's my birthday and I get a trip around the sun, yes, that's the only thing that works for me in July. Billy Napier, his teleconference was earlier this morning. It's the normal SEC teleconference that takes place. Students are going to have stories up on WRUF.com about how that went down. Tubbs, I know you're going to be part of the game day setup on Saturdays for what, WUFT, I believe it is? Or no, on YouTube, right?
Yeah, it'll be the Sports CJC YouTube is where we'll be live for that kickoff show.
And we were talking about Ada Mizell because Billy Napier basically said, hey, lack of a better term, in a very deep wide receiver room, needs to pick up his game a little bit. And I am probably clarifying and surmising as best as possible. But something else that Billy Napier addressed, guys, today was about Florida State. Because under the new SEC format going in next year, it's 9 conference games. You will have 3 true rivals. But you're also going, I think it was an ACC athletic director told ESPN last week when the news was announced, we're going to keep the SEC-ACC crossover. So that's the importance of what? For us, it's Florida State, correct?
Yes.
This is something you cannot lose.
Absolutely not. There's no way that we could lose FSU on that schedule ever. And I think it's extremely important for Florida's fan base, for FSU's fan base. It's important for the alumni. It's like, this is biased, but I'm okay with saying it anyway. I think it's one of the best rivalries of all time in college football. Whether people care about SEC, whether they care about ACC, like, I feel like people tune into that game versus other rivalry games if you're looking at a 7:30 night game. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, no, I mean, Billy said it's one of the greatest rivalries of all time, and that if Florida played an 11-game conference schedule, that there would still be room for Florida State on it every year. And as a student here, I didn't become a Gator until I was a student here. I'm always curious to get people's opinions on, my mind always goes to Florida State as the bigger rival. But anytime you see like the rankings of college football rivalries, they always have Florida, Georgia higher than it. And I was thinking to myself, there's a little more hate at the end of the season.
I would agree. Yeah. Did you grow up a Florida fan?
No, I didn't really start watching college sports until a few years ago.
I grew up a Florida fan. I was born and raised to hate Florida State. Like, I was so annoying.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lauren McGill.
I was so annoying. I would like touch people's Florida State shirts and be like, "Oh, it burns." Like, ew. Like, no.
You were that girl?
Oh, yeah. Like, I was so annoying about it. Like, FSU hater since the day I was born. And I was raised that way, and my kids will be raised that way too. Either way, I think that I see it as a bigger rivalry, and we as students will see it as a bigger rivalry because I was born with the hate and raised with the hate. But once you come here and you go to a Florida State game, it's just so much. It's not that the energy is better, it's just different. And I feel like it's a more attractive energy, that rivalry versus Georgia.
It is the Sports Lab with Kevin Winter. She's Lauren McGill. He's Michael Tubbs. We're here on a Wednesday. Would you or have you, let's start with have you ever gone to a Florida State game in Tallahassee?
Yes, last year.
You did go last year. Mm-hmm. What was that experience like?
The Florida State fans were mean. Personally,
well, hang on. They were also miserable because their season went to hell quickly.
Yeah. That's their fault. It was also 37 degrees, but we were winning, so I didn't care. But I was sitting in front of Florida State fans. It was these girls, and they kept hitting the little beanie I was wearing on my head with like a little puffball. And I was like, guys, you're losing. Just leave. Leave me alone. Leave the stadium. Like, I promise you, Doak Campbell's not losing anything if you leave because they're already losing this football game.
Fair enough.
I just love the petty. Sean Kelly, Michael, I'll let you get started in a moment. Sean Kelly told me when I got here, Sean says to me, Sean Kelly's one of my best friends in the business, the voice of the Gators. He says to me, I kind of started doing it as he and I were doing college football when he was the voice of college football at ESPN Radio before he got here. We would embrace the petty from various schools when we do different games around the country. Then I would always give him updates on games. He told me, he says, remember how we always embrace the petty? He says, you need to embrace the petty on steroids down here now.
Yeah, well, and you know what? Joe67 left a comment and said, FSU is our in-state rival, but Georgia is our arch rival. And I hear that, and I empathize with that, but when I hear the barking, I'm like, oh, that's annoying. Versus when I hear the FSU war chant, I feel like my ears are bleeding.
Would it be different if it was a home-and-home series and not having to go to the Jacksonville at the neutral site with Georgia every year?
No, because I still hear the barking. Like, I think it'd be cool to go to each site, but I really do like that rivalry takes place at a neutral one because, I mean, it's the biggest cocktail party of the year. Like, that's such a well-known game and a very well-known rivalry, arch rivalry, if you will. But there's something about the energy of the FSU-UF game. I can't explain it.
There really isn't. And I'm going to get my first taste of this coming up on November 29th, the day after Thanksgiving. Hopefully next year You get the taste on the road. I'm going to get the taste in Jacksonville when we play Georgia for the cocktail party, because I'll be on the Gator Radio Network, the Gator Sports Network, and the Gator football broadcast with Sean, with Cardozo, with Tate Casey, with Shane Matthews. Will be part of it this year as well. It's one of the new things I'm going to be doing. I want to, because I've been a part of Red Sox-Yankee rivalries, and I know you guys, you hear about it. I know it's not a lot of baseball down here that takes center stage, because football does. I get it, right?
Yeah, no, the Rays are just bad.
Well, hang on, and that doesn't help either. That does not help either, Lauren, I guarantee you. So I love watching the rivalry games. Look, I was on the air when Chris Davis had the kick 6 for Alabama. I've got no dog in the fight, don't care. But I just love college football, and I love college football drama. In rivalry games, present opportunities, multiple opportunities for drama.
The drama. It's intoxicating.
It is. It's a drug, Lauren. It's an absolute drug that once you get a taste in your veins, you need another one.
Yeah. I just thought of another point. For me, beating Georgia in football is better feeling-wise, yes, but like if Florida beats them in baseball, basketball, yes, it feels great. But beating Florida State in all of those other sports, I'm just like, we're just such the superior Florida school. It just feels more rich.
That's because Georgia doesn't. They don't really commit. That's one of those things where, Florida is the all-around school across the board. Georgia really their baseball team's been good. Basketball's
hit or miss. It's
really.
At times it's hit or miss. Yeah. Georgia had the story of what you ever see the SEC story documentary Miracle 3. I think that was the Georgia one. They play in the SEC basketball tournament in the old dome in Atlanta at the Georgia Dome. The tornado rips through. And they actually saved lives that a three-pointer went down. Or maybe it was Mississippi State. Maybe Georgia was favored. I cannot remember. But Georgia was a big part of it. As to who won that SEC tournament. And it was a miracle. It was really a miracle SEC tournament. But Georgia was a big part of it as well. But, yes, basketball for Georgia is hit or miss. Now, it helps as well that Todd Golden's got his basketball team on top of the world.
And Georgia literally has Florida's leftovers with Mike White.
There you go. There you absolutely go. Speaking of rivals, we'll talk some SEC rivals coming up, talk some SEC matchups. Later on in the show, we're going to do over-under win totals in the SEC. There's a lot of interesting numbers. That's later on in the program. It is the Sports Lab on a Tuesday. Kevin Winter with you. Lauren McGill, Michael Tubbs hanging out with you. Take your phone calls, 392-8255. Want to leave a comment? Well, check the YouTube comment stream coming up next at WRUF, home of the Gators. That's all right here. WRUF, 98.1 FM, 850 AM.
WRUF,
where Gator Nation comes alive.
98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2.
Powered by ESPN.
WRUF, your home for Gator sports.
Hi, this is Dr. Art Mowry of Exceptional Dentistry. Listen to what our clients have to say about their experience at Exceptional Dentistry.
I told her I was a nervous Nelly when it came to going to the dentist, and it had been a few years. And I think my dentist had retired, and she was like, just come in and sit down with me and just have a talk with me, and I did. Most of my stuff is pretty routine, so I've seen Art, I've seen Kim, I've seen Dr. Rodriguez, but Dr. Rodriguez now pretty much takes over. He pretty much does my care. There's nothing intimidating about it. Every part of the staff, from the doctors all the way to the office and everyone in between, is like, just makes you feel comfy. Yeah, make you feel welcome. You would love them. Right. They're great.
This is Dr. Kim Mowry, and if you think you have dental problems that are too big to overcome, we're here for you. Please visit us at exceptionaldentistry.com. That's exceptionaldentistry.com.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Why should you hire America's largest injury law firm for your case? There's lots of reasons. Just like there's a reason millions of people called us last year in their time of need. When it comes to fighting for justice and compensation, millions of people across the country trust us to go to battle for them. We became the largest injury law firm in the world for a reason. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial #law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Tim Miller for WRUF AM and ESPN 98.1. It's that time of year again where we start to watch the weather a little bit more closely with daily thunderstorms and the tropics heating up. Stay current with any weather condition with the Florida Storms mobile app, free in your app store. store. Set the app to get alerts for your area and check on live radar. Storm coverage on WRUF and ESPN 98.1. Brought to you by Radiant Credit Union. Weather on the air at WRUF and online at WRUF.com.
Every Gator football game all season long, right here on WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2.
It is the Sports Lab. Kevin Winter with you. Yes, WRUF 98.1 FM. 8:50 a.m. Lauren McGill, Hannah Getman is on the board. Nick Abreu's on the board. You're Michael Tubbs. See, when I saw Tubbs, I kept thinking Hannah Mack because they were later on in life you get to say like that's your work wife. Because you'll understand that more in 10 years, don't you?
I understand it now.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, we were here all summer.
You were here that was your, it happens. You got a work husband, you got a work wife, and every significant other, the first time they hear it, depending on what their mood is, sometimes they go, wait, what?
Yeah, you and Jess.
it happens, right? You absolutely get that. You absolutely sometimes get those. So, I see this, and where the hell was I going? WRUF on all of our social media platforms, at WRUF, home of the Gators, on our YouTube channel. That's where you can also leave comments, Lauren McGill.
Yeah, and I saw a really good one before the last break talking about Florida and Florida State's rivalry. Is Florida and Florida State a big fueling turn point for this rivalry over Georgia is that a lot of these players played each other in high school, which makes it more meaningful to them. It makes it more emotional to them. It makes it more impactful for if they win, whether they're going to be able to have this clout over them for the next year. Like, that's important.
That's a great point because when I was growing up, it was Miami and FSU. A lot of those players, because those were two of the top big dogs. Florida was in there a little bit with Steve Spurrier as well, not as often. Sorry, at times he wasn't. Until Spurrier got here. Let me phrase this. Before Spurrier got here, you still had Florida State. You still had Miami. And then when Steve got here, he turned the entire program around and he set things up, right? And that's where the Florida State, they knew those guys. Even watch Catholics versus convicts as well. Where Notre Dame, half of Notre Dame's players came from the state of Florida.
Yeah,
I
believe it.
You just brought up a good point there as far as it was Florida State, the in-state rivalry and everything.
And then Miami, Florida State, and sometimes Miami, Florida as well before that got stopped.
I saw a video, and this is probably going to ruffle a lot of feathers, especially here in Gainesville, of someone calling out Florida fans for thinking that they're old money college football success. And he was calling Florida new money because really before the 90s, the Gators didn't have much of anything, and I think that's an interesting take because it's not wrong.
Hang on, I'm interested in this one, and I am here to listen and to make a determination from our Gainesville listeners. 352-392-8255. Michael Tubbs, you made that. It's an interesting comment. I get it, but this is also the beauty of the new day and age of college football. I don't care whether it's new money or old money. Texas, old money. Oklahoma under Barry Switzer, old money. Arguably dirty money. SMU, real dirty money back in the day. Friggin' program got canceled. Yeah. The program got canceled. They got the death penalty. I don't care whether it's old or new money because the championships still matter. And arguably, you have a harder path to win a championship nowadays.
Yeah, but it does make a difference because there's a reason why you look at Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin and go, I don't know if they're going to win a national championship. When you look at South Carolina and go, well, I don't know if they're good enough to win a national championship. Because if you look back, really, since the start of college football, I mean, I guess if you were to look probably post-World War II, it's the same 30 to 35 teams that are winning. So I think it does make a difference.
That's a fair point. Lauren McGill, Michael Tubbs with us here on a Wednesday. Sports Lab, Kevin Winter with you, WRUF. I'm with that.
Because there's only so many teams that actually win a national title.
And look, this is where Florida is, Lauren, aren't they? You're a diehard Gator fan.
Yep.
You see that Gator face, like the head of the Gator on those flags and on that logo. That's a predominant logo in college sports, and particularly in college football.
Oh, yeah. And honestly, like, not that this has everything to do with it, but it made me think of it. Like, if you go on any site that like ranks those, and it's it's a neutral site, to be like Bleacher Report, or it can be some random ESPN writer who did that for their story that day, like, and they rank mascot images and like logos, they always have Florida as top 5, and that is a fact. That's not even me being biased.
And it's funny, so we're talking about these logos because in part we start going through some SEC rivals, SEC topics, and SEC conversation here. I remember growing up, I remember seeing the Alabama helmets, and I'm just looking, and I understand some people call them classy. I'm looking at it, I just see the like the crimson color and a number, and I went, well, that sucks. Like, well, I'm a kid. Show me a helmet.
Yeah.
The Notre Dame helmet, okay, fine, a gold helmet. All right, it's pretty cool. Boston College had the same one. I know there's a huge difference between Boston College and Notre Dame, except for 1993 and a couple of other years after. I was always kind of like, hey, what's the, I got a logo. I was a logo kid. That's how you become a sports fan as a kid. It's the logos.
Yeah, and I think it's so recognizable, and it's so different because you'll see a lot of like high schools now like copy what another school's logo. Like, there's a school where I'm from, Southeast, and theirs is the Seminole, but it's orange and blue. But it's the Seminole head. They'll play the war chant
with the spear.
Yeah,
right.
But I don't see any of the Gators anywhere.
Maybe it's trademarked. Gotta look into that.
It's too unique.
Because it means more.
Yeah, you can take a Georgia G, a Tennessee T, but taking a Gator head.
Taking a Gator head.
Not even the
story.
F.
Chubbs couldn't even do it in Happy Gilmore. He lost his hand to the Gator. Some of the SEC rivals that like best SEC rivals that you're thinking of as we start getting back into conference play, because we were talking about that before.
Yeah, we were talking about when it comes to the constant games that will be played when it's the 9 game of 2026. A lot of the teams that people were looking at, like for Florida, the biggest one was Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
That one's going to be a constant no matter what. That game is not going anywhere because, like we just said, that's an arch rival. That is another huge rivalry game that I don't think will ever leave. Another one that I thought is kind of iffy. I don't see it on everyone's list, but I would keep it on mine, is Tennessee, because I always think that that's also a really good game.
That game's not going anywhere.
No, that game can't go anywhere. So what it's come down to is that third team of who it's going to be. LSU in the mix for, I think, a lot of people here. And then I've seen Auburn, which we got to talking last week. I could also see that one, but I think I'd still prefer LSU. But I was looking at a few more, and then I saw Kentucky, and I also saw South Carolina, which I think is just...
Are you talking as options for the Gators?
For, like, in this next coming schedule.
As options to be
as
in that three team pool.
Yes, in that 3 team.
And Michael Tubbs, I'll get your thought on this in a moment. Lauren, we'll go here. Part of the interesting factor to make this schedule and to make these rotations are you now got to take into account what the other schools are doing for their rivals. So, for instance, Texas is playing Oklahoma, the Red River rivalry. Texas is playing Texas A&M now that they're back in the same conference. Those two were stalwart standouts. That was Thanksgiving night when I was growing up. NFL didn't play on Thanksgiving night. Those teams played on Thanksgiving night, and it was must-watch television. Right. Auburn and Georgia are going to play each other. Mm-hmm. Florida and Georgia are going to play each other. So there's those two. This is going to be – this is an Excel – someone who can perform and operate Microsoft Excel to the highest level. This is your dream because you now need to create the schedule and the matchups, right?
Right, yeah.
And so that's where it's going to be. See, I think if we start looking at some of these other rivals, is LSU going to play Auburn every year? Or is LSU going to play Alabama every year? Alabama's playing Auburn every year.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What's the other one that Alabama's going to be playing? Or the other two?
I mean,
is it Alabama, Tennessee?
Georgia.
Alabama, Georgia.
Yeah, I saw that as a lot of – because I was looking at every teams. And, Georgia – I think Georgia LSU is also competitive.
Think about this for Georgia. You've got Georgia, Florida, Georgia, Alabama, and Georgia, Auburn because you're not getting rid of the Deep South's oldest rival.
Yeah.
There's your 3.
Yeah.
If you want, so that's how hard this is going to be. We may think just from the inner circle in Gainesville of what it belongs, but we almost got to take the 35,000-foot view and start picturing exactly how it's all going to get mapped out.
Yeah, I think we're looking probably at a Kentucky or South Carolina for that last spot. As much as I want it to be LSU, and the reason I want it to be LSU is because of the all-around rivalry, right? We're not just talking college football.
No.
We're talking every sport.
Baseball.
Basketball. How LSU doesn't have an elite basketball program just blows my mind. But
Shaq won't donate. Shaq won't donate as much money as they thought.
But
I'm not lying.
Gymnastics, baseball, softball, literally track and field. So everything is LSU, Florida. Unfortunately, I just don't think that we're going to get it in football anymore. And because I think another part of what they're looking to do is to not just give teams 3 juggernauts of consistent rivals.
I agree, but I mean, it changes in baseball too. Adding Texas and Oklahoma made it so that they change it for SEC play for baseball and softball too. So the baseball team didn't play LSU this past year, which, I mean, they went on to win the national championship, so like whatever. But I don't. The only
whatever
reason,
she says.
The only reason I wouldn't see South Carolina is because it's just never been a rivalry. Like, I was just looking at their history. Like, it's 31-10 Florida. Like, what's the rivalry? What's the fun there?
Can I tell you? So back when baseball went to interleague play for the first time, and you had a natural rival that was basically handpicked. So Cubs played the White Sox because you only got one series a year. Cubs played the White Sox. Yankees and Mets got together. You had the Bay Area. You had Oakland into the San Francisco Giants. You had, I think at the time, I can't remember if the Astros were in the National League, so you had the Astros Rangers. The Red Sox got stuck with the Atlanta Braves. Now, there wasn't a rival, but the two teams were the same when the Boston Braves existed in like the early 1900s.
Right.
Where's the rival? So I get your point of where's the rival, but sometimes for the sake of scheduling, that's where the sacrifices may be made. Tubbs, back to your point on LSU. If you want LSU, and I thought you brought up a good one as well, we may not get, because I don't think I don't think there's enough teams to do the monster schedules and the monster matchups all the time for all 3. So you might have to sacrifice to Tennessee for Florida, put LSU there instead in order to get that other third. Like, that's where a sacrifice may have to come.
I think that's a sacrifice from what a Florida fan might want, but not from a legitimate SEC scheduling standpoint.
That's a fair point. Yeah. I'm with you because the third Saturday in September was what I grew up in.
Yeah, you're looking at that, and then who else would you give Tennessee to?
You got Tennessee to Alabama. You got them to Alabama.
Right now, there says Alabama, Vanderbilt, and Florida.
I was thinking Vanderbilt. Look, that's the state of Tennessee.
They're going to play Vanderbilt.
That's the state of Tennessee.
Is that their rivalry week game?
I can't remember.
So.
I can't remember. And so here's the other thing: rivalry week has gotten. Yeah, don't try to say that one too fast. Rivalry week. Rivalry week has gotten so messed up along the ways because of television schedules.
Yeah,
it used to just be the last weekend of the season. All right, Kevin Winter with you. She's Lauren McGill. He's Michael Tubbs. We want to remind everyone. Plans this weekend? Sure, I know you're watching football, but if you're out and about on Labor Day weekend, here's your college football lineup right here on WRUF. Friday night, we're going to have Georgia Tech and Colorado on our air. Friday night at 7:30. Saturday morning, we will have Texas and Ohio State. We're airing that game right here on WRUF. We will air that game leading up to Learfield's coverage on the Gator Sports Network of Florida and LIU beginning at 4. So we're going Georgia Tech, Colorado, Texas and Ohio State, Florida, LIU, and we're going to cap it off Labor Day Monday night. Your final drink of the afternoon or whatever it is, or your 3-day weekend bender, kids, which I could be joining you on. Your final cocktails begin for TCU, North Carolina at 7:30. Bill Belichick's debut. That's our weekend of college football right here on WF.
It's such a good weekend. There's so many good games.
So many. Well, speaking of, there are. Yeah. But now, SEC predictions for week 1. There's a lot of SEC. Let's do the SEC predictions all coming up next. He's Michael Tubbs. She's Lauren McGill. I'm Kevin Winter. Sports Lab with Kevin Winter on a Wednesday on WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM. Your home for Gator Sports.
Gator fans have been put at ease. Head coach Billy Napier made a statement at today's media availability. Starting quarterback DJ Lagway is ready to chomp the competition in Saturday's season opener against LIU.
DJ has been 100% participant in practice here for several days.
The starting quarterback for the first quarter, is that to be
DJ's
determined?
starting.
And over on the green in Gators golf, men's golfer Luke Poulter earned the nod for the Fred Haskins Award 25-26 preseason watch list. The award was given to the most outstanding collegiate men's golfer. Phil Hancock is the only Gator to win the award in 1976. Over on the court, Gators men's basketball gets an update on John Rothstein's Inside College Basketball podcast, where head coach Todd Golden talked about next season's starting lineup. Thomas Houck will start as a small forward in a Corey Brewer role and will be joined by Alex Condon and Ruben Chinyelu as the front court starters. And that's your Gainesville Sports Center. I'm Macy Meese.
Gator volleyball returns to the court.
A bullet caught some net. Pass made. Set to the right side. Gators got a hand on the block. Bella Lee plays it up. Parks sets the middle. August got it down for the kill. Jayla August ends the exhibition match. The Gators come back from trailing most of the third set to take it 27-25.
Sunday afternoon, the Gators are back in the O-Dome hosting Norfolk State. Coverage begins at 12:45 right here on WRUF, your home for all Gator sports.
Do you have an invention idea but don't know what to do next? Call InventHelp now for free information on how to get started today. InventHelp provides invention services that help everyday inventors get started with their idea. We have representatives nationwide who will explain the InventHelp process step by step. Over 10,000 patents have been secured through InventHelp's patent referral services. Our services include professional materials needed to showcase your invention, and 3D animation and prototype modeling that help you demonstrate your idea. Get down to the details of your idea with a technical drawing. The InventHelp Databank includes thousands of companies who have agreed to review new ideas. We've been helping inventors since 1984. Let's help you next. Take advantage of the opportunity to get started today.
Call us for free information at 1-800-577-2648. That's 1-800-577-2648. Again, 1-800-577-2648.
The wait is over. Miapa Latin Cafe is now open in the heart of Alachua. For over 13 years, Miapa has been serving up authentic Cuban flavor to the greater Alachua area. And now we're moving into a bigger, better space right across the street from our previous Alachua location. That means a bigger parking lot, more seating, and yes, a drive-thru for your cafecito fix on the go. We couldn't have done it without you. Miapa is deeply grateful to the community for years of support, love, and loyalty. This move is a celebration of you, our customers, neighbors, and friends. Miapa has been a part of Alachua County since 2003, and with 6 locations strong in Gainesville, Jonesville, and Alachua, we're proud to bring you the ultimate Cuban culinary experience. Miapa Latin Cafe. Authentic Cuban food, real community flavor.
From the UF Weather Center, here is your WRUF weather update.
Sunny skies for us this afternoon thanks to drier air arriving from the north. High temperatures today in the lower 90s. A very low chance for a passing afternoon shower. Our best chance for raindrops will really be to our south, toward Lake and Sumter counties and toward the I-4 corridor. Mostly clear skies for us tonight. Lows for our Thursday morning in the lower 70s. From the WUFT Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Megan Borowski.
You're inside the Sports Lab with Kevin Winter, right here on WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and anywhere in the world on the WRUF mobile app.
That's right. Sports Lab now goes Monday through Friday, 2 to 4. WRUF is live and local, noon to 6. Each and every day, Sports Scene with Steve Russell. The big guy's back. The dean of Gator Sports. Gator Sports Talk. Steve Russell back in the house, noon to 2. Steve's going to have his Extra Point show coming up on Saturday night following Gator football. Also, Gator football Saturday night beginning at 4. Kevin Winter with you, Michael Tubbs, Lauren McGill.
Just a reminder for everyone that Gator Talk is tomorrow night, every Thursday night, but tomorrow at 7 p.m. at Miller's Ale House. For the very first time making his appearance is special guest, head coach Billy Napier. That'll be again tomorrow night at WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and Gator Talk is every Thursday night.
Went there last week to Miller's Ale House. Did not get an opportunity. What am I supposed to be getting next time I go?
Zingers.
And what are zingers, by the way? What I need to actually try this.
They're honestly just like really skinny chicken tenders with wing sauce on them. And Miller's Ale House kind of thinks they're original by naming them zingers.
Okay, that's cool. What's the thing with fries and the heart attack on a plate?
That's like the zinger melt or something.
Yeah,
it's like a bowl.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of it. It's just the zingers on top of a
I was
pile of
just
fries.
Hang on, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
All right, so I got to get one of those. I was there last weekend, watched Sean Kelly talk with Scott Strickland, the athletic director. Good crowd last week. I anticipate a slightly larger crowd this week, and it will get bigger as things go along. Billy Napier, tomorrow night with Sean Kelly, the voice of the Gators for Gator Talk. Gator Talk is back. It is each and every Thursday night beginning at 7, right here on WRUF, and also on our sister station, 103.7, The Gator. Also, SEC football this weekend. I was looking through Lauren McGill, Michael Tubbs, the SEC football schedule this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, Texas and Ohio State take the billing. You've got Syracuse and Tennessee. That game is on ABC television. Other than that, you got Alabama, Florida State. So, by the way, the SEC on ABC, my old company, is just loading up with this weekend. Tennessee, Syracuse, Alabama, Florida State, and they'll close it out with LSU in Georgia. It is a pretty interesting slate that you've got this weekend. On Sunday afternoon, Virginia Tech and South Carolina. You've also got Auburn and Baylor. Auburn and Baylor seems to be like a sneaky game on Friday night on Fox.
Mm-hmm.
That seems to be like a sneaky good game to me.
Yeah, we were looking at some of the ones that obviously aren't on Friday, and honestly, like when I'm looking at that score, I think that Auburn will only win by a touchdown. I do think they'll win, but I think they'll win by like a touchdown.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what Jackson Arnold is under Hugh Freeze. Hugh Freeze is a big year for him at Auburn. And Baylor, listen, they're a team in the Big 12. You know what that means? It means they're competing for the Big 12.
It means they're competing for the Big. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Everyone it's up for grabs for anyone.
Yeah.
And now, what? K-State's got a loss. Yeah, Iowa State's 1-0 right out of the gate. So, and that's a conference loss. So there's an opportunity there. What games struck, aside from the obvious of Texas and Ohio State, what games, what matchups this week guys struck you?
The biggest one for me is just going to have to be LSU and Clemson.
Okay.
I'm so excited for that game.
In what way?
Because LSU is on this season opener losing streak and has been since their national championship season in 2019. And I know that they should win to make us look good, to make Florida look good. And I'm aware of that as a journalist. I can say that. But I also don't want to see that losing streak go away. I really like that that's just how their season has gone for the last 5 years, that they open their season with a loss. However, I do think that this will be the year that it comes to an end, because I think Garrett Nussmeier, their quarterback, is very talented, and he'll be able to and LSU also takes advantage of the transfer portal, and Clemson doesn't, and Dabo Swinney takes pride in that. And he says, we've built up our roster. They've worked really hard. And Brian Kelly says, yeah, well, we went to the portal and built our roster that way. So I think that their losing streak probably will come to an end this year.
It's funny. And Michael Tubbs, I'll let you go in a second. This matchup reminds me of LSU is the current edition of the New York Yankees, or the late George Steinbrenner edition of the New York Yankees. Bye, everybody. And then Clemson is the actual before George really started spending money to develop Bernie Williams, Mariano Rivera, Jorge Posada, Derek Jeter. That's what Clemson's trying to do.
Yeah.
It reminded me of that. And as a Red Sox fan, I can't believe I had to make that analogy, but I thought it just seems like it fits. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's a fun game. I just want to make sure that all of Gainesville and Gator fans are on the same base. We as a collective, Gator fans, are rooting for LSU in this game. You have to root for LSU in this game because
she's crestfallen.
And I said I thought they'd win.
If LSU loses, that means week 3 when Florida's headed to Death Valley, that means LSU's season is on the line. And Billy and DJ do not need that pressure heading into that game. LSU has to win this game. Otherwise, the beginning of that stretch on this schedule is going to be so much harder.
The interesting part for Clemson, Kevin Winter with you in the Sports Lab. He's Michael Tubbs. She's Lauren McGill. The interesting part for Clemson is outside of the LSU game. You look at their schedule. Right now, they play only 2 other ranked teams.
I call that the ACC.
I do as well, because they're ranked now based off of projection and last year's rank and last year's performance. The 2 ranked teams are SMU. Will they still be ranked? I don't know. Are the Ponies going to have as much success as they did a season ago? They're certainly not going to shock people or catch people off guard like they did last year. The only other potential game that would be ranked would be against South Carolina for the Palmetto Bowl in the final game of the regular season in their rivalry game.
Right. I understand that. Oh, Sean Hart wanted to let you know it's a zinger melt, by the way. I understand LSU needs to win, but you're not going to catch me rooting for them. But I want to emphasize that I do want them to win, but I will never be like, let's go LSU.
So you're just gonna have the game on. The game's gonna be on, or if you're in the swamp, you go on the game Saturday night.
Yes.
Okay, so be checking on your phone. We're listening to me when I give you updates on the Gator Radio Network right here on WRUF.
I can't listen to you.
Of course you can. You got the WRUF app. You got to hit your buds.
Maybe.
You better download the app.
I have the app.
Download the app. You can listen to the game. You can listen to the whole thing on the WRUF mobile app. Download for free in your app store. See, I say you get a promo in. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I'm going to be sitting here and probably in the second half back here in the studio. I'll be watching the game on the televisions, and when I'm up in the press box, I'm going to have the game on my laptop.
Yeah,
it's going to be more interesting than our game.
Honestly, more excited for Texas, Ohio State, and LSU, Clemson than I am for. Not that I'm not excited for football season to be back, but we kind of already have an idea of what this weekend's going to look like for Florida's game. I'm so excited for Texas and Ohio State and LSU and Clemson.
It's really an amazing weekend. All right, give me some predictions for this weekend as we start going through this schedule, right? So we're looking at this schedule. Let's see. Central Arkansas, Missouri, no-brainers are Missouri. Auburn, Baylor, we all on Auburn?
Yeah.
Auburn. Yeah. By the way, Auburn is a 2.5-point road favorite at ESPN Bet. I'll get the Texas, Ohio State in a moment. Syracuse, Tennessee. Tennessee almost a 2-touchdown favorite.
Yep.
That game's on a neutral site.
I think that's sneaky. I think that's a sneaky spot for Tennessee to be in with a new quarterback, off-season coming in, some new pieces on their end.
Syracuse had kind of gotten it together over the last couple of seasons, and believe me, as a guy who worked up at ESPN where 80% of the people come from Syracuse, that's all I ever heard, and trust me, it drove me bonkers, which is why I came to Florida. To get you guys to take all the Syracuse jobs that keep getting taken, please.
I like that plan.
Right, you like that plan? I'm going to try real hard. I'm tired of it.
Kyle McCord's gone, but
Dino Babers is a good coach.
It's a sneaky spot to look at.
If I think Dino's still there. Mississippi State, Southern Miss, not a chance. Mississippi State's
I only have them by a touchdown.
You only one touchdown?
Yeah.
All right, so you're telling people to take the points. I like that. Toledo and Kentucky. That's a 12:45 game of the SEC network. Toledo's one of those teams that can kind of catch you off guard. I called a bowl game of theirs, the famous Idaho Potato Bowl a couple of years ago. I think it was Toledo and Wyoming. It's an interesting style of offense that they run. And this could be, even Kentucky's at home, this could be an interesting game where Kentucky just kind of sits back and just says, well, whatever. We'll go through the schedule coming up. Continue to take a breakdown of the SEC schedules. Kevin Winter with you here on the Sports Lab. Lauren McGill, Michael Tubbs hanging out. Hour 2 comes your way next to WRUF.
Your home for Monday Night Football. WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2.
Riding season is here, and Polaris of Gainesville is kicking it into high gear with our Kawasaki back-to-school sale right now. Score a $250 accessories credit with the purchase of any new on-road Kawasaki motorcycle, like a 2024 Kawasaki Ninja 650. We've got huge savings on 2024 and 2025 on-road and off-road models. And these machines need to move to make room for our incoming 2026 lineup. At Polaris of Gainesville, we're not just selling Kawasaki. We're a full Kawasaki service center, keeping your machine running strong all season long. Thinking about an upgrade? Stop in so you can ride out on the Kawasaki you've been dreaming about. Head down to Polaris of Gainesville. Family owned, locally operated, and doing business the old-fashioned way. The handshake and a commitment to service. Don't wait. Find us on Highway 441 between Gainesville and Alachua, or shop online at polarisofgainesville.com. Come see us today at Polaris of Gainesville, your Kawasaki headquarters.
When you're ready to take that much-deserved vacation, Radiant Credit Union is ready too. Our low-rate personal loans can set you on a path to sunny beaches, snowy mountains, or the classic American road trip. All you need to do is plan your getaway, minus the financial baggage. Relax and enjoy without high-interest worrying. A low-rate personal loan from Radiant can be a great solution for travel, education, debt consolidation, or whatever you may need. So when you're ready, let's get started. Visit radiantcu.org and apply today. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
From the Spurrier's Gridiron Grill Studio, WRUF Gainesville, W251CG Gainesville, WRUF FM HD2, and on the WRUF radio app. You've heard his voice for more than 2 decades.
Out of the shotgun, pistol formation, pulls it back. Here comes the ball, near side, wide open, and it's caught. Is he in bounds? Yes, he was. Second TD pass of the game.
Now, winter has come to Gainesville and joined Gator Nation.
Telvin Smith of the Jaguars joins us here on Football Sunday on ESPN Radio.
It's the Sports Lab with Kevin Winter, right here on WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM.
Flushed out of the pocket, throws back to the end zone, and is knocked away!
And featuring the next generation of sports talkers. Today in the lab are Lauren McGill and Michael Tubbs. Now, here's Kevin Winter.
Oh, James Brown, Living in America for you, baby. It's one of my favorite songs to start a show. It's been the theme of the Sports Lab ever since we began this iteration of the Sports Lab. Last week, we now go noon to 2 to 4 on the Sports Lab Monday through Friday, live and local on WRUF noon to 6. So Gator Nation, as we begin another football season is upon us. We'll be rocking and rolling, and we are your home for Florida Gator sports. Gator Talk tomorrow night with Billy Napier. He's going to make his first appearance in Miller Ale House. They got college football all weekend long, wherever you are. Driving around, sitting in your backyard. If you can't put the game on the TV, if you need the game on the radio, we've got the opportunity to load up the WRUF mobile app. We will have all the games. And yes, and that includes Texas and Ohio State. She's Lauren McGill. He's Michael Tubbs. They are two of the students here in the Sports Lab. In the College of Journalism here on the campus of the University of Florida. I am Kevin Winter, 20 years at ESPN, and now I'm down here as an instructor and happy to be alongside them. We're talking about some SEC action, guys, in week number 1 before we hit the top of the hour. And we really left off the 2 main games. And now I'll say I kind of did it intentionally, but I didn't. But it's okay. But you can see when you do this long enough, you just kind of play it off that you did as you sit here and laugh. Alabama, Florida State, Ohio State, and Texas. Let's start with Alabama and Florida State. This is an interesting one. I know, Lauren, you absolutely probably what food do you hate the most? Like, is there a food that you absolutely can't stand?
Cucumbers.
Okay, you probably would rather eat a cucumber than root for Florida State, correct?
Easily.
Okay.
There's a lot of things that I would do before I root for Florida State.
This is the passion that I get from the students, and this is why joining a college university is absolutely one of the most impressive things that I've ever wanted to do. Alabama, Florida State, but the Seminoles are at home. The Seminoles are coming off arguably one of the most embarrassing letdowns of a season in college football history. Given the show, you know what Fish filled in before that, right? Mm-hmm. Before the show, the bleep show that just happened last season. I'm real curious to see what happens because it's not. Seminole fans are just like Gator fans in this regard. They're not going to stand for their team stinking it up another year in a row. Not that the Gators did last year. That's not what I'm saying. But if Mike Norvell has a bad start, and I know Alabama, I know the way it is set up, that Alabama is a 13.5-point favorite on the road. Seminole fans ain't going to stand for a blowout.
No, but here's where the difference is between Florida and Florida State. Like, obviously, they won't stand for 2 bad years in a row, but Mike Norvell didn't look as bad when he had Jordan Travis. And then you go to a season where it's nobody versus, Billy Napier had Graham Mertz at the beginning, and then it was DJ, and then it was Graham, then it was DJ, for the rest of the season. But that's where the difference, I think, lies, is that Florida State fans, I'm saying this unbiasedly, and they're very...
Hang on. Are we sure about that?
Yes.
Tubbs,
because it's a compliment.
I feel like you and I need to back away because lightning is about to strike Lauren McGill.
She might explode.
This could be difficult over here, everyone.
Giving Florida State fans is kind of... It is giving them a compliment. It's really hard for me.
I can tell.
Yeah. But they are very passionate. They're an extremely passionate fan base, and I do agree that they're not going to stand for having 2 losing seasons in a row. So I'm wondering is if they go into another season that is similar. I don't think that they'll be as bad, but I don't think it's going to be the season that they're hoping for. I think that at the end of the season, if Mike Norvell can't get at least 5 wins, he's gone.
Could you think that? Could you see them getting boat raced by Alabama on Saturday?
No.
No, they're not going to get crushed. They'll at least put up a fight.
Oh.
Hang on. So hang on. I knew I was going to have to do the definition of boat race.
Yeah, I was like, what?
I didn't mean to. Boat race means a butt whooping. It's one of the terms that I kind of started. I kind of started using in SportsCenter updates about 10 years ago, and it kind of took on. And a former NFL scout, John Middlecoff, I think he used to work for the Niners or the Redskins back in the day. He introduced me to that term, and I have just absolutely embraced that term as my own. I'm not going to lie. So, could Alabama boat race Florida State?
I'll tell you it in my own terms. Alabama will slaughter Florida State.
Okay,
they will do it on their turf. I do think, I think that Alabama is slightly overrated. And I think that FSU will put up a fight, but it's not going to be the one that they want. It's like if you want to say in like terms of rounds, they might be able to go 2 or 3, and then after that, Alabama puts the whooping on them.
2 or 3 rounds. Wow, you really hate Florida State, McGill.
And comments agree with me. They all think that Alabama will crush FSU.
Of course, they're Gator fans. Of course, they're going to agree with you, and I love it. By the way, comments at WRUF on YouTube, home of the Gators.
I love the comments.
I know you do.
I'm on the flip side of this. I think you're looking at a Florida State last year that brought in DJU, who I understand it was a high recruit, went to Clemson, won 10 games. If you saw him at Oregon State, you would know that was a horrible transfer decision for them to bring in. Bringing Tommy Castellanos, a guy who, can he get it done in the air? Probably not, but at the minimum, he's got the ability to run the ball. You're looking at Deuce Robinson, transfer receiver out of USC, Squirrel Wright out of Tennessee. A lot of veteran transfer depth here. I think if you're looking for an upset on the schedule, one that truly has some value to it, I think you take Florida State to win that game. At home, the stadium is now finished its renovations. I'm not saying they're going to win, but I'm saying we can't act like last year's team is this year's team.
The renovation to the stadium took out student seats, and it was for alumni. And I know the students are very upset about that. So, yes, the stadium is done, and like more people can sit there now, but it's not even the students that want to go to the game. Isn't that interesting?
All right, 3:30 in the afternoon, Saturday afternoon, ABC television is the middle game of the SEC on ABC triple header. Syracuse, Tennessee started. They're in the Aflac kickoff game. It will be Alabama, Florida State. We know that schedule. And then the nightcap, LSU and Clemson. We kind of touched on that game earlier. It's that game is more sit back and watch. And obviously, Gator fans will never root for LSU, but you want LSU to win that game. I'm curious because if Clemson wins that game, they may go undefeated, and I'm not lying about that, but I don't think they're that good, and they're going to get overranked really quickly. The one that everyone is waiting for, and this could be potentially a precursor to something that we were talking about before the show. Michael Tubbs, Lauren McGill, Kevin Winter with you here in the Sports Lab on a Wednesday afternoon on WRUF, your home of Gator Sports. Texas and Ohio State are going to be playing in Columbus. And we'll talk about that game in a moment, the actual game. But this is Big Ten SEC. The two conferences that are absolutely loading, and I mean loading up. What happens in basketball, guys, every year?
We got the Maui Invitational, or all the invitationals, all sorts of matchups.
You got invitationals, but what else do you have? Conference clashes. You have the Big Ten SEC Challenge. You have the Big East ACC, whatever it is, right?
Right.
If these two conferences absolutely load up and they decide, would we ever decide to do a Big Ten SEC football challenge in week 1 or week 2? Would you guys be for it?
Yes.
100%.
There's
right?
a lot.
100%.
Yeah.
Now, I'm with you. This is we talk about sports fans, college football fans' dreams. This would be it. And in this new wave of playoff, this gets you a good loss. There's a metric that has, like, when you lost, is it a good loss? Mm-hmm. If you lost the Big Ten SEC Challenge college football game in week 2, it's a good loss. Would coaches and athletic directors want to go for it? at the risk of what could happen to your program?
After the expansion to 9 conference games, and no.
Okay.
No, and here's in the light of looking at a guy like Strickland, where you're looking at it as the FSU rivals not going anywhere. So even if you added in a Big Ten challenge, now you're looking at FSU, 9 conference games, and then a Big Ten added on with a single cupcake, quote-unquote, game on the schedule. There's no way that they would agree to that.
On top of that, Lauren McGill?
I would agree. I don't think that it's something that they would be for, but I think it's something that fans would be for.
We absolutely would. And TV networks would be clamoring for it. And they'd be
Yeah.
trying to buy their way into this.
It'd be a high commodity game.
Absolutely.
And that's revenue, which is really what circulates everything.
It absolutely does. It's what creates it. One of the reasons I brought it up is because a lot of the metrics, and I'm hoping to have Heather Dinich join us at some point over the next couple of weeks. She's really good at the college football playoff metrics and what the committee. She's been embedded, ESPN reporter Heather Dinich, she's been embedded with the committee for so many years on Selection Sundays and usually on Tuesdays when they're discussing what exactly are you looking for. You want these matchups are actually now going to be beneficial for you. We mentioned the SMU schedule. You didn't play the Indiana schedule. You didn't really play anybody. The only team you did play, you played Ohio State, and you got your butt whipped. And then all of a sudden you play Notre Dame, and it's over. We now know who you are. Matchups like in a Big Ten SEC challenge could be beneficial, but you guys are right. The 9-game college football slate for the SEC schedule is taking effect next year. On top of your ACC-SEC kind of crossover matchup, and then you add a Big Ten matchup to that? That's a schedule from hell.
We already have one.
Right now, yes. And then can you imagine maybe some of the lower schools? Let's go Northwestern, Vanderbilt. Now, it's a nice game for them.
I'm thinking you stick like Mississippi State and Ohio State.
That defeats the purpose of the good games.
I know, but it'd be kind of funny.
It is interesting, right?
You are just spiteful and vengeful, McGill. Wow.
It's like I'm thinking of funny combos in my head.
Well, it is interesting, right? Like the top of the top conferences would be entertaining, fun games because that's what the Big Ten and SEC are. But as you slowly work your way down into the mid-tiers, you start to really see that shift in probably the SEC's advantage. And by the time you get to the bottom of the conference, it is full-blown SEC.
I agree. And this is where the SEC has the advantage of rights because you've got Ohio State. Some years you've got Michigan. You've got Penn State right now.
Oregon.
So the addition of Oregon does help. USC, maybe, depending on who, where. Right now, no. Because Lincoln Riley hasn't done squat.
Funny enough.
When he doesn't have Caleb Williams.
Yeah, funny enough, right now, Illinois is real. That's an interesting matchup. Wisconsin's hanging around.
They're an interesting one. They're sneaky.
Yeah.
They really are. Kevin Winter with you here in the Sports Lab on a Wednesday. Michael Tubbs, Lauren McGill hanging out. As for Texas and Ohio State, coming up this weekend, obviously it is a kickoff weekend for the Gators as well. Texas, Ohio State, all eyes are on Arch Manning. Lauren, you said you're going to be watching that game as well.
I am.
What's going to what about it, even including Arch, is going to strike you as you sit back and watch? Or is this more to see, Arch, it's your team, what can you now do?
I honestly would argue that Ohio State almost has more to prove because you got number 1 playing number 3, and you have Arch returning, and we all know that the news has been Arch Manning. That's what we talked about last week. It's like, where do you not see his name? And I feel like Gainesville might be one of the only places because all they want to do is talk about Arch Manning. And yes, he's got a lot to prove. And yes, he has to come out there looking strong, looking great. He's fast. He reads the field well. He does well with the ball. But, I mean, Ohio State lost 14 players to the NFL. Texas lost 12. And they have a redshirt freshman coming and making his debut. And that's a big deal. So when you're coming in as the champ and you're coming in with the redshirt freshman, like, there's a lot on the line, and I honestly think that Ohio State will take the win over Texas.
Buckeyes are home favorites, but they opened up as a 2.5 to 3-point favorite. It's down to 1.5 right now. That kind of caught my attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the small storyline in this, Julian Sain is going under the radar in this game as Ohio State's next quarterback here. I think he's the one that makes or breaks this game. When they got the 2 studs, Jeremiah Smith, Caleb Downs, arguably the 2 best players in college football, they get a quarterback behind it, Ohio State automatically, I think, flips into back-to-back, that number 1 contender spot. If you're looking at Texas, Arch Manning, if he comes out and does what everybody thinks he does, big deal. If he doesn't, well, what's the excuse? He hasn't either A, he hasn't really played anybody in actual playing time games, and B, well, if he comes out and doesn't look good, okay, well, you just played Ohio State at Ohio State with Caleb Downs.
All right, so what's the bigger story then? Because this is going to be the narrative, and I'm familiar with narratives because I've lived with narratives for 20 years, and I fought narratives for 10 when I worked at the mothership up at ESPN in Bristol, Connecticut. Because there's going to be a storyline that comes out of this game. The storyline is either going to be Arch Manning is the guy, or is Arch Manning the guy? And you guys know it, don't you? You know it. Yeah. It's going to be the conversation come Monday, or Tuesday, depending on when people go back to work. Arch Manning is the guy, or is Arch Manning the guy? That's actually what kind of pressure he's under this weekend, whether he feels it or not. Sorry, Lauren.
Yeah, no, you're fine. While I do think that Ohio State will win, I do think that it'll be close. And yes, I can see that narrative. If Arch pulls a win out, yeah, he's great. He's the guy, whatever. But if he doesn't and Ohio State wins, but it's still close, I would arguably say if he still had a really great game, then, I mean, it's Ohio State. Like, it's the revenge of, the playoffs. But if he has a great game and they still lose, but he does well in the rest of the season, I would still say that he did okay.
All right, couple of reminders. YouTube channel is wide open at WRUF, home of the Gators. Leave a comment on our YouTube section. Plenty of interaction. I think there's like 5 or 6 people going back and forth and having a conversation with themselves, so it's pretty funny. At WRUF, anywhere on our social media platforms, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Don't tell me it's X. It's Twitter. And all of those are available. Michael Tubbs, Lauren McGill, Kevin Winter hanging out with you on a Wednesday. Gator football coming up this weekend. We continue to get ready for opening weekend against LIU. All comes your way next. Here on the Sports Lab on a Wednesday, WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM.
WRUF Sports Center.
I'm Liana Handler. The countdown begins until college football starts in Gainesville. The Gators will host Long Island University at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium Saturday at 7 p.m. Linebacker George Gumbs Jr. said he and other edge rushers on the team embrace the pressure of the position.
How I look at it, I see Sab or Caleb or somebody go out there and make a play. It just makes me want to go make a play even more. So I feel like my room especially, if we see that, we don't feel pressure, like we get excited to go out there and do something.
In other football news, wide receiver Dallas Wilson owned a spot on the Sean Alexander Freshman of the Year award watch list. And tonight, the number 16 Gators volleyball team squares off in a home exhibition game against PVK Olymp Praha. It's Florida's last chance to work out any issues before Sunday's game against Norfolk State. The match starts at 7 p.m.
Hi, this is Dr. Art Mowry of Exceptional Dentistry. Listen to what our clients have to say about their experience at Exceptional Dentistry.
Well, we discussed dentures and implants, and I could not afford the implants, but I was still treated like an implant person that was going to put out buku bucks, even though I didn't have it. And I thought, well, if I don't go with implants, they're going to put me on the back burner, sort of, and shun me away, but they didn't. They did not. I have 4 dentures, top and bottom. Top and bottom dentures? Right. IV sedation they did, and I don't remember a thing. It was wonderful. Yeah, go there because they care.
This is Dr. Kim Mowry, and if you think you have dental problems that are too big to overcome, we're here for you. Please visit us at exceptionaldentistry.com. That's exceptionaldentistry.com.
Nothing's better than taking to Florida's waterways with family and friends. But some boat operators don't realize that bow riding is extremely dangerous. It can lead to tragic accidents if someone falls overboard because of speed or direction changes. Be sure your passengers sit only in manufacturer-designated areas while underway. Their safety is your responsibility. Safe boating is no accident. To learn more, visit the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission at myfwc.com.
Spurrier's Gridiron Grill is a special type of place for Gator fans and fans of great food, which is why we made every day special. Join us on Martini Tuesdays for half off our handcrafted martinis and wine Wednesdays, where you can enjoy a bottle of wine for 50% off. On Old Fashioned Thursdays, indulge in our selection of 8 classic old-fashioned cocktails. And of course, don't forget Sunday brunch. And now you can look special in some of our great merchandise. Available at the restaurant or online at Spurriers.com. Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, the hottest restaurant in Florida in the heart of Gator Nation.
Every week on the Moth Podcast, we share stories that are funny, strange, heartbreaking, and above all, true.
I myself have been married for 56 years. Unfortunately, to 4 different women.
It turns out the people I was looking for all my life is what you people would call nerds.
Follow and listen to The Moth on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Stream all of our shows on YouTube. Search WRUF, home of the Gators. Now, back to the Sports Lab with Kevin Winter.
WRUF 98.1 FM, 8:50 a.m. Lauren McGill, Michael Tubbs hanging out with me, Kevin Winter, 20 years at ESPN, down here as an instructor at the College of Journalism. Got the kids. We're talking Gator sports each and every week, each and every day, excuse me. By the way, let's go. Got the students. Kevin, learn how to be nice. Got the students. Cardozo says it's Kevin and the kiddos. Did you hear that after the first day?
I think we should drop that as, the sooner the better.
That's crazy.
Hang on.
Wasn't it? It was Kevin and the kiddies.
Kevin
right?
and the kiddies?
What?
Yeah, Kevin. It was Kevin and the kiddies.
Yeah.
Cardozo said that I almost fell out of my chair in my office. Kevin, hey, we're following Kevin and the kiddies.
That's wild.
Oh, yeah. Hang on. Jeff Cardozo, if you could see Lauren McGill's face right now, can you zoom in on the YouTube? On the YouTube, she is not happy with Jeff Cardozo at this moment for that one.
That's crazy.
Wow. All right. I want to remind everyone, talking a lot of college football because college football is back 1 week from tomorrow. The NFL is back. College football Labor Day weekend. Here's our schedule. Georgia Tech, Colorado, Friday night, 7:30. Saturday, we do have Texas and Ohio State, followed by the Gators and LIU. That game's at 4, so hopefully the Longhorns and Buckeyes are cleared out of the way. Please, dear God, don't let me get the scheduling wrong on that one. And then Monday is going to be TCU and North Carolina, Bill Belichick's debut as a college football head coach. Outside of Texas and Ohio State, and then which I'm going to be watching on my laptop here while we're prepping for. I think I downloaded the Fox One app just so I could do it here. Yeah, just so I could do it up by the O-Dome so I could watch. Outside of that, and then outside of watching our game and all the games while we're working on Saturday, the North Carolina game on Monday night is the game I'm most looking forward to because I need to see to believe it that Bill Belichick is on an NFL sideline. I covered the Patriots for almost 20 years. Especially for good 10, real in depth, especially when Bill Belichick was there. I just that to me is probably the most fascinating storyline in college football, and I'm going to probably put that above Arch Manning as well.
How many wins do you think he's going to get North Carolina just off of being Bill with scheming and coaching?
That's the interesting one.
Because he's going to snag a few.
Bill Belichick always says your opponent will lose more games than you actually will win for yourself. Your opponent your opponent will get you more wins by just losing the way they play. Yeah. So back to your point on scheming. True. On scheming, right? The dumb things they do. The dumb plays they make. And especially in college, clock management. One of my biggest bugaboos about college football and college coaches, you can see where I'm going. Like Lauren just got scared. You can see where I'm going this.
I thought the word was funny.
Bugaboos? Yeah, you like that one? You guys are getting a new vocabulary, aren't you, for this? We've got boat race. We've got bugaboos. Yeah. Tomorrow we're going to go to the seas, everyone. That could be dangerous, however. That could be dangerous. So one of my biggest issues with college football coaches is their clock management is awful. Absolutely awful in big game situations. And actually late game situations. I'm curious to watch how Bill's teams execute. Because, granted, they had a guy running the show and wearing number 12, so that helps. But all this other stuff, I'm with you, Tubbs. I'm with you, Michael Tubbs.
I remember his seeing his record against like rookie
QBs.
NFL quarterbacks.
First time around, yeah.
It was amazing. And it's like, if he would take elite level college quarterbacks and just confuse the crap out of them, what is he going to do to an 18-year-old coming out of high school? What stints is he going to be pulling blitz packages, coverages? Like, good luck to everybody that plays North Carolina. They might not be the best team. They might not be the most talented, but they're going to give you everybody on their schedule. They're going to give him problems.
They're going to give him, and so he's got his son running the defense, and he was coaching the NFL, and then he's running the whole show.
We know who's running the defense.
Yeah, yes, we absolutely do. And his girlfriend is probably running something. I don't know. TCU North Carolina. TCU North Carolina at 7:30. Damn, I like that one, McGill. Way to go. We continue along with the college football schedule here on opening weekend. Give me some upsets, guys, that are really on the horizon potentially. And I got some opening lines for this weekend. But Tubbs, you already brought it up. You think Alabama is a strong candidate to go down to Tallahassee and go down.
I'm looking at Florida State as a legitimate upset over Ty Simpson, who, from what I understand, they never really fell in love with him. It was always a quarterback battle. It was one of these where it was like kind of obvious, but they didn't love it. I'm sure they would have rather gone somewhere else. Think about it this way. Milroe was their quarterback last year. I don't think that's a guy you just choose and you want to have.
No.
I mean, he struggled. So
yep, I'm with you.
I don't know how much I'm trusting Ty Simpson to come in and just get the job done.
I'll tell you this: LSU is plus money in Clemson.
See, I was trying to take like more of an upset,
a bigger one. That's right. It's 3.5. It's 3.5.
That's still an upset, though.
It's still an upset.
I think
it's still an upset.
Listen, if you want to take one of the bigger games, I think that's the one you got to take.
Lauren McGill, did you have one that kind of struck yourself where you looked at?
Mine
and went,
was Virginia Tech and South Carolina, because right now
Sunday afternoon.
Yep. In Atlanta. Right now, South Carolina is projected to win. It's at 8.5, but I truly think that with the neutral site and the fact that these teams have not played in 33 years, and South Carolina is a good team. And I think after watching the Netflix documentary, if everyone watched the Netflix documentary for the SEC, like you can see that this is a team who's come to play and they're not backing down now.
Beamer's a good coach.
Yes, exactly.
Yep.
But I also think that Virginia Tech is going to come into this season so hot because I feel like there's more for them to prove slightly, even though, because South Carolina is ranked at 13, but I just kind of see a Virginia Tech takeover. I don't know. Like, I think that it could be a little turntables. Like, I don't know. It's kind of exciting.
Well, Virginia Tech would be catch 7.5. By the way, North Carolina 3.5.
Oh, it's 7.5 now.
7.5. Okay. Virginia Virginia Tech 7.5, catching 7.5. North Carolina is plus 3.5 at home to TCU, so that's technically an upset. But again, it's a small number.
I would take that too.
I will absolutely take that. But you also know public money's coming in on that because it's the Bill Belichick factor.
Yeah.
Let me give you one I'm looking at. I don't even know the point spread. I won't even pull it up. South Florida is going to beat Boise State Thursday night.
Why are they ranked?
Hey, hang on. I mentioned this earlier. We were going through Clemson's schedule. We're going through the rankings. SMU's ranked. Why? They're probably good, but they're not as good as last year.
Yeah.
I don't think so. And this is what rankings are. What you did last year, and it's the potential. No one knows a damn thing. I've always been in favor, Michael Tubbs, of rankings coming out later in the season. Like really later at the first one. Get 4 games under everyone's belt, or 3. Maybe after week 4. Maybe after sometime in first, second week, third week of September. Get the rankings out. Because then we all have an idea as to who's who. And I think you could find some real interesting rankings in that one. But why is Boise State ranked? Because of last season. South Florida is going to beat them, which is going to be great for us. I'm getting looks from McGill. Are you going to thrash me next on this one because I picked another Florida team to win?
No. I don't dislike USF actually. I do like USF, and I think it'd be great to see them win. I think it'd be great for their morale. It would be great for us.
I wish you all could see the fist bump Go get them, kids.
Yeah, you got it, champ. You know, I know that it'd be great for them, and it would be good for us going into week 2. And I would like to see them win, but even their coach said, like, Boise State comes out in the fourth quarter and they know how to finish a game. So, and now it's just up to USF. Do they know how to finish a game for themselves? Why didn't the coach do that about themselves?
I don't know. But I'm with you. I get it. I think season opening games like this, Boise State viewing themselves as a ranked team, pretty on the cusp of the college football playoff last year, depending on how things should be. They can't remember. Did they make it last year or no? I can't remember. It was
Boise State?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Because of the janky rules, they got a bye week.
That's right. They had the bye week. Thank you. I knew I got confused. Then they get hammered by Penn State.
Yeah.
That was the one. They get hammered by Penn State. Okay, you're right about that. That was my fault. So they're thinking our stuff doesn't stink. Now, why are we going to Tampa? Guarantee they're thinking, why are we going to Tampa? Yeah, you didn't like that
Sunshine
comment.
State.
You didn't like that comment. Why are we going to Tampa to play USF?
They're not ready for the weather either.
It's going to be hot.
Yeah.
It's going to be hot.
Advantage.
Advantage. I think USF will get it done. That's the way it works. All right. Lauren McGill, Michael Tubbs with you here on a Wednesday. Kevin Winter with you on the Sports Lab with Kevin Winter. Coming up, give us some more conversation about college football weekend. Opening weekend is here. And look ahead to continue to break down the Florida Gators. It is inching closer for the season opener against LIU Brooklyn. At WRUF on all of our social media platforms, at WRUF. Home of the Gators is where you can find us on YouTube. Leave the comments. The comments are flowing. We'll interact with you coming up next as well. It is WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM, your home for Florida Gator sports.
Your home for Monday Night Football. WRUF.
Hey, Joe, what are you and Mary doing for the Gators game? Want to come by my place and watch it?
No offense, Mick, but your place is more humid than Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, and that place is nicknamed the Swamp. Why don't you guys come over to our place instead? We'll have some snacks, hamburgers, hot dogs, cold drinks, and cold air.
That sounds good, Joe. I don't know who to call about the AC. There are so many companies out there. How do you know who to call?
That's easy, Mick. Call the company we always call. Charles Berg Enterprises.
When your home comfort is on the line, trust the name Gainesville has counted on since 1967. Charles Berg Enterprises. Charles Berg Enterprises is still family owned and still guided by the values Charles Berg believed in. Integrity, reliability, and exceptional customer care. And they use the best equipment on the market. Train. It's hard to stop a train. So if you don't want your home feeling like the swamp and you don't want to get swamped with high electric bills, call Charles Berg Enterprises today and experience comfort you can count on. Visit charlesbergenterprises.com or call now to schedule your next service.
Charles Berg.
Charles Berg.
Charles Berg.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Why should you hire America's largest injury law firm for your case? There's lots of reasons. Just like there's a reason millions of people called us last year in their time of need. When it comes to fighting for justice and compensation, millions of people across the country trust us to go to battle for them. We became the largest injury law firm in the world for a reason. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
This football season, Hurricane BTW was your game day getaway. Catch every play with an ice-cold Bud Light in hand. Pair it with fan favorites like our wings and apps while you catch every touchdown, tackle, and highlight. Our Bud Light specials are here all season long on Hurricane BTW, so bring the crew and make it a game day tradition. Visit hurricanewings.com to find a restaurant near you.
The Tailgate with Jeff Cardozo and Pat Dooley. Weekdays at 4 on WRUF.
The guys are coming up next, top of the hour. Here on WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM, the Sports Lab with Kevin Winter. Lauren McGill, Michael Tubbs hanging out today on a Wednesday. We continue to count you down to season opening weekend in college football. Excuse me, week 1. Week 0 was last weekend, but really it's the big one, big weekend for everyone. Reminder, Gator Talk tomorrow night, 7 o'clock with Sean Kelly, and the head coach of the Florida Gators, Billy Napier, is going to be making his first appearance tomorrow night, 7 at Miller's Ale House. Gator Talk every Thursday night right here on WRUF. Also, you want to catch us on our social media channels at WRUF, Home of the Gators on YouTube. You can watch the stream there, Lauren McGill, and you can leave comments.
Yeah, the comments are...
Hang on.
Oh,
yep.
Sorry.
Rookie.
I thought I pressed it.
I know.
The comments are a lot of fun, and we just got a really good one recently that compared Kevin to Simon Pegg. If you guys want to... if you guys want to take a look, please, can we please get a close-up on that?
Hang on. Come on, you can't.
Trying to get some camera work going.
All right, see, there you go. Is that it?
Oh, yeah.
This is why you got to go to the live stream.
This
you
is why you go to the live stream.
Oh, my God. Who said that?
Mr. Bassman.
Mr. Bassman? Mr. Bassman. Look, I was called Opie in high school, Ron Howard. Opie from Happy Days. I got that one when I was a kid growing up. I've never gotten Mr. Simon Pegg.
I didn't. I had to look up who it was,
I know.
and then I did, and I was like, "Whoa, they're on to something."
I found my doppelganger. You want to know who I also get? You guys ever see
Modern Family?
Modern Family?
Mitch? Oh, yeah.
Hang on. He's going to play me in the documentary that is made about my life.
If he doesn't, it's criminal.
It really is, isn't it? Or I'm going to play him in his documentary, the documentary about his life. Maybe I gotta think about that one. Not sure about. We'll remember that one. We'll see. But back to college football this weekend and the way things are rolling out. Season opening win totals. I have found some fascinating ones for the SEC guys. First off, Mississippi State's win total is 3.5. It's also hang on. Over is minus 180. So they're telling you they're going to win 4 games. You got to win a lot of money. You got to bet a lot of money. Kentucky 4.5, Vanderbilt 4.5. These are the bottom feeders. Mississippi State 3.5, Kentucky 4.5, Vanderbilt 4.5, Arkansas 5.5. Here's one that is absolutely getting hammered betting wise. Oklahoma right now at 6.5. You almost got to lay 2-1.
I don't. Is anything happening with the whole John Mateer thing? The whole betting. Did he bet? Did he not bet? Like, what's? I don't.
Guy, look in today's day and age.
Because I'm gonna hammer the under if you think anything will happen to him. Because without him, I don't know what Oklahoma's got going on.
So again, I mean, is this a situation where you suspend him for the game against the directional school, and then he plays against Texas in October? At the Texas State Fairgrounds?
Oh, no. Whoa. We got the NFL
whoa.
and NCAA have made it very clear that big things that players should probably never see the field again, they get a slap on the wrist. But the small things, God forbid, you put a little bet on.
That's fair point.
The hammer's coming down. You're never playing college football again for that.
I know.
Look at OJ. Or, sorry, not OJ.
Yes,
Reggie Bush.
Yes, Reggie Bush. No, OJ.
Reggie.
Hang on, Michael. OJ was something different.
Yeah.
We can have that conversation as to where I was in college watching that documentary, watching the OJ Simpson trial. Lauren McGill, Michael Tubbs, hanging out with us here on a Wednesday afternoon. Is there a team? Because you guys wanted to do the win totals. Is there a team whose season win total that has kind of stuck out to you? As you're looking through the season opening, as these win totals in the SEC and among SEC teams. Here's what I'll tell you. Florida's schedule is so hard that the Gators' win total is the same as UConn's. UConn is a team that stinks. But this is obviously the different, it's where it's different.
Yeah.
The funny thing is Florida is still at a really good price to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's this crazy part about all of this.
Yeah,
so somewhere there's a trick in here.
I think Florida's sitting at 7.5 is a joke. I think it was a joke at 6.5, and I still think it's a joke at 7.5. I think
you got 9-3.
I'm looking at 9-3. I'm looking at the top notch. If this team plays at the highest its potential, I'm looking at 10-2. I think DJ's that good on his best night.
I would agree with that. Now, Lauren McGill.
I am satisfied with sitting at 9-3. Because
she's knocking on wood, everyone. For those who can't see it,
it's an essential, and it concerns me that you didn't. Honestly,
it is. I get it.
Good.
I'm satisfied with sitting at 9-3 because I don't want to get my hopes up. B, I can't look as far ahead into the season into a future where say DJ doesn't stay healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Because if DJ doesn't stay healthy, I don't think that the season is lost, but I don't think it's a 10-2 season.
Right, I agree with you completely. I mean. I think 10-2 is realistic. 9-3 is realistic. 10-2 it's a reach. 11-1 is you're winning a national championship.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If that's how it's going to go. And now 8-4 makes it a different story. It's 9-3 also. 9-3 may put you in the SEC championship game, given the way this conference is stacked up. Or maybe the benefit is it doesn't put you in the conference championship game. You sit out so you don't get that fourth loss.
Yeah, I mean, that's an easy way in. Although SMU lost to Clemson, they still snuck in there.
I agree.
But here's the interesting part of looking at a 7.5. Is that win total really Billy's win total? If he gets over that mark, he'll stay. If he hits under, he's gone.
Again, I think this all comes back to who and how. You can't, one of the things when you have a schedule like this, guys, I've seen it set up. She's Lauren McGill. He's Michael Tubbs. I'm Kevin Winter, the Sports Lab, here on WRUF, live and local, Monday through Friday. Kevin Winter with you, talking about from formerly of ESPN, now with the students, instructing the students down here. The interesting task when you have a schedule like this, every big win, it is paramount that it is not followed by the devastating loss. Obviously, the immediate landmine that I would go to on this schedule, if you were to knock off Texas on Saturday evening, the game is not scheduled yet for Saturday evening, but if this team is 3-1 or 4-0, coming out of the bye week or heading into the bye week, I will guarantee you, if this team is 3-1 or 4-0, this game will be on ABC television. Game day will be here. SEC Network will be here. For 2 weeks, it will be nothing but Florida-Texas hype because it'll probably be Texas's second top 5 game of the season.
But even if you
potentially,
even if you win the big game and then have a letdown spot that next game, you're still looking at a 9-3 season.
You are, but the taste is now a little more sour because you just lost to Texas A&M, coming off the Texas win. You see what I'm saying? You beat Texas and then you go on the road to Aggie Land. And you get clipped.
Yeah, but
you haven't even had Georgia yet.
Hang on, that's what you got to avoid.
But you're still set up for success as far as the playoffs go. When we're
you
talking
are.
about that,
You
I mean,
are.
a 7-5. You're telling me that at that point, Billy can't win a big game. If you can't hit over 7.5, you're simply telling me that with this roster, you have to be able to win a big game.
Agree. At least one.
I agree. I think that with 9-3, like if I were to think of like the people, like the teams that Florida could potentially lose to, like granted, I don't really want to jinx, but I think that I thought of this, but I didn't want to interrupt anyone. The other reason that I think 10-2 is just a slight stretch is because I think that Georgia has a likelier chance of going 10-2 because they arguably have one of the best defenses in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And to put, not saying that Florida's offense can't, scrap them up a little bit, but their defense is fantastic. DJ Lagway is also fantastic. So I think that the Georgia game, like the losses prior to the Georgia game, are going to be very different than when the actual Georgia game is played. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but DJ had him dead to rights last year.
It was a different team last year.
You're right. I think last year's team, was it better?
Huh?
Was Georgia's team last year better than this year?
No.
It's not?
They have built a defense that's the best in the country.
I see what Tubbs is doing to us over here. Lauren, I see what Tubbs is doing. He's trying to bait us. He's casting the lure in the water.
I don't see Georgia as an SEC champion this year, as a high-end playoff team.
I don't see them as a SEC champion. No.
Because you don't trust the quarterback.
No, that's not it.
Okay.
I think Gunnar Stockton has potential.
All right.
And if he taps into that, I think that's when they're a scary team. I think they've lost quite a few pieces, and I'm not sure in this league this year. I think the defense may have taken a step back.
Well, so I understand what you're saying. Michael Tubbs, Lauren McGill, Kevin Winter with you on WRUF. I'll use this analogy. It happened to Alabama last year. They were so good for so long, running so much depth. Eventually, the cupboard wears thin, especially in today's day and age of transfer portal, where some of the freshmen or the kids who weren't getting as much playing time said, screw it, I'm going to go to another school, get some bigger run, maybe get some NIL money, and then as you try to replace the cupboard is bare. I get that. So in this theory, you're saying it's Georgia's turn this year.
Yeah,
to kind of run out. Because Georgia has lost oodles and oodles of players to the NFL.
whether it's fair or not to say, when they missed out on the last 4-team playoff, and they probably should have gotten in, but they didn't. Yep. So fact is, when you look at it, has there been I'm gonna say steady, but it's been a slight decline, but there's still been a decline from their 2 championships to where they're at this season.
It's hard to stay at that level in this day and age of college football for those many years in a row.
Especially in this conference, and I agree. But another thing that this conference will do, because of the big names that they bring in, is they went into the transfer portal. And that's why that was my backup behind their defense. My defense statement is that they went into the transfer portal and they brought some guys in. And that's why I think that they've built such a strong defense. Like I said, the best, if not one of the best defenses in the country. Yes, we're going to find that out within the first few games, but that's why I think that their defense from that transfer portal is very impressive.
All right, it is the Sports Lab on a Wednesday. She's Lauren McGill. I'm Kevin Winter. He's Michael Tubbs. Take your phone calls, 392-8255. And get set for the tailgate. Cardozo and Dooley coming up next. Plus, maybe some Gator predictions for Saturday evening. Maybe we could do some predictions, because the last time you guys are going to be on, next time you'll be on the air, there'll actually be a game we could talk about instead of all the hype and lead up and questions and what ifs and ifs, ands and buts and all this other stuff. All right?
Yeah.
The preview that lasted how many months? 9?
A million?
10?
Felt like.
10? All that's coming up next on the Sports Lab. WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM.
WRUF Sports Center.
I'm Nate Bilgeray. Beginning in 2026, at the start of next football season, the Southeastern Conference is moving from an 8 to 9 game conference schedule. This leaves one less week for Florida to schedule non-conference opponents, most notably rival FSU. Despite the change, Billy Napier remains committed to competing in this in-state showdown.
Certainly, it's not going away. Not only would our people not let that happen, but I know their administration, their alumni, their fan base would feel the same way. I mean, we're going to play that game regardless. If they told us we had 11 conference games, we would still play Florida State.
Gators soccer looks to build on in-state momentum following a 5-0 shutout Sunday over UNF. They'll host UCF tomorrow night at 7. Cross country heads to Jacksonville for the Florida Invitational on Sunday. I'm Nate Bilgeray. Beginning in 2026, at the start of next football season, the Southeastern Conference is moving from an 8 to 9 game conference schedule. This leaves one less week for Florida to schedule non-conference opponents, most notably rival FSU. Despite the change, Billy Napier remains committed to competing in this in-state showdown.
Certainly, it's not going away. Not only would our people not let that happen, but I know their administration, their alumni, their fan base would feel the same way. I mean, we're going to play that game regardless. If they told us we had 11 conference games, we would still play Florida State.
Gators soccer looks to build on in-state momentum following a 5-0 shutout Sunday over UNF. They'll host UCF tomorrow night at 7. Cross country heads to Jacksonville for the Florida Invitational on Sunday.
Right now at International Diamond Center, you buy the ring, we'll buy the honeymoon. It's IDC's Summer of Romance with romantic getaways for everyone. 3 days in a fabulous city, 4 nights on a luxury cruise, or 5 days at an all-inclusive tropical resort. It's happening now through the end of August on practically every purchase. For example, spend $3,500 at IDC now, get a fabulous piece of jewelry, and we'll give you a 3-day getaway to one of over a dozen romantic cities. Spend $5,000 at IDC and we'll give you a 3 to 4 night cruise for 2, including port fees and taxes. And listen, if you spend $10,000 on anything, you'll get 5 nights at a luxury Rio all-inclusive resort. Don't miss this amazing offer exclusively at IDC. Get something beautiful to celebrate your love and get a free getaway on us. Now through August 31st at International Diamond Center at Celebration Point. Details and restrictions at shopidc.com.
In the U.S., motor vehicle crashes remain a leading cause of death among children. In Florida, children ages 5 and under must be properly secured in a child restraint device. Choosing the correct seat with proper installation and usage can save lives. Make your child's safety your priority. It's the law. Learn more at flhsmv.gov/child safety. That's flhsmv.gov. A message from the Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles.
Tired of dingy clothes and spots on your clean dishes? It's not your soap, it's your water. Call Perry's Pump Repair in Alachua for a free water analysis, providing amazing, life-changing water solutions for you and your family. Read their reviews. Visit perryspumprepair.com.
From the UF Weather Center, here is your WRUF weather update.
Well, I'm tracking some scattered showers and thunderstorms around the area. Not surprised at all, as we have a little bit more moisture to contend with today. 93 is what we'll top out for our high. Some of these showers, they'll produce some pretty heavy rain, maybe some localized flooding. Any of this activity ends by early tonight. We'll get down to about 74 degrees. Tomorrow we'll do it all over again, but even a better chance of afternoon showers and thunderstorms. From the WFT Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Tim Miller.
You've entered the Sports Lab with Kevin Winter, right here on WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2.
Little ZZ Top for you on a Wednesday afternoon, wherever you are, driving around. Thanks for the ride. Lauren McGill, Michael Tubbs with us here on the Sports Lab, WRUF 98.1 FM. Football. Gator Talk tomorrow night. Sean Kelly, Billy Napier at Miller's Ale House, 7 o'clock. Labor Day weekend. Georgia Tech, Colorado, right here on WRUF. Texas, Ohio State. Gators and LIU. Monday, TCU, North Carolina. Want to leave us a comment about your weekend, about what the plans are going to be. I know I'm setting up a weekend on a Wednesday for everyone, but that's kind of how desperate we are. On our YouTube page at WRUF, home of the Gators, plenty of comments available for all of you there.
I made a comment last segment of saying that you got to hit, if you're hitting under 7.5 wins, because Florida's win total is 7.5. If you're hitting under that, you're telling me that Billy can't win big games. Joe67 said that he's already won big games, and I understand that to an extent because he has won important, big matchups. But when I say big games, I'm talking the Texas of this season. I'm talking when we head into the playoffs. I want to know that I can rely on you to go in and win that game.
Right.
And when you look at it circumstantially, LSU was on the down in that last season in the swamp. Ole Miss, Jackson Dart literally handed you that game with the 3 picks.
But when you're struggling and when you're desperate for success, you will take victories that you usually wouldn't consider good wins. You'll take them as good wins, right? Because I think that's kind of the place where Gator fans are. And maybe they're looking through it, maybe they're viewing it through the lens of the clouds that were hanging over Gainesville last year for 11 months ago. They're dark as hell.
Yeah.
They're dark as you know what.
It's a good win. I don't want to take that away, but it doesn't give me comfort if you were to head into a playoff game against a team like Oregon, right? I can look back and rely on that knowing I feel comfortable with that. Yeah, it's a really good game. I just not quite there to just say that Billy can win the big one.
Lauren McGill, care to weigh on Michael Tubbs' theories?
I would still argue and say that LSU was a big game, and we can say that they were on the decline. However, LSU tried through and through, has been a powerhouse team, and Brian Kelly is, despite the 5-game losing streak for opening season, he's an all-around good coach. And Garrett Nussmeier was still there last year, he's still there this year, and he's a good quarterback. Yes, decline in theory, but it's still a good team. And yes, it was the home game advantage or home field advantage, but I think that was still a big deal. And yes, Jackson Dart did whatever, but it was still a win, and I'll take it no matter what.
So we're talking about big wins. The Sports Lab with Kevin Winter here on a Wednesday. Cardozo and Dooley are coming up next on the tailgate just after the top of the hour. We're discussing this in this realm about big wins. Obviously, going into Baton Rouge, Lauren McGill and Michael Tubbs, going into Baton Rouge and winning in Week 3, that's a big win. Is going into Miami and winning in Week 4 a big win or a bad loss should you lose? Because I get the feeling Miami is getting whacked. I think Miami is getting absolutely waxed by Notre Dame on Sunday night.
Is it a big win if you expect to win? The Florida branding.
Do they expect to win, or do you hope to win? Because I think right now Miami would probably be a small favorite. If the Hurricanes beat the Irish, they'll be a bigger favorite. So you're not expecting to win. The Vegas thinks you would lose.
Right now, we'll see what Miami really is. But right now, I expect to beat Miami. I expect that win. This is a team, right? And this is the biggest difference, right? I think as a Florida Gator. If you're a Nebraska fan, your heyday was in the 90s. It's been rough. The majority of college football, you're just hoping to have some good seasons. The Florida Gator standard should be national championships. You should look at this schedule and go, it doesn't really matter. We have the team and coach to win these games.
Miami right now is a 3.5-point favorite on the look-ahead line.
I don't agree with that line. I'd take Florida.
Just letting you know. But this is where, if you're a team that has these expectations, Michael Tubbs and Lauren McGill, the big wins, the goalposts always wind up moving.
They have to.
They have to move. I agree. It's a great point. They have to move. The goalposts have to move because last week's big win, the next one gets bigger. And then the big wins keep going. And then when you reach the mountaintop of big wins in the regular season, you're going to be, unless you are an undefeated team, and I'm not sure wherever the odds anymore to see an undefeated national champion have plummeted massively. When you get that massive win, you're now going to, all it is, you're going to fall off the mountaintop.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
That's the only place to go. That's the only place to go. Lauren?
I agree in the sense that I want to see what Miami can do in the first 3 weeks, because this isn't even a crazy opinion or debate, but I think that Carson Beck is extremely overrated. And last year, all the Georgia fans were like, oh man, we're going to lose Carson Beck to the NFL after this year. Please. You lost him to South Florida, Miami. You lost him to Coral Gables. He left and he went to Miami thinking that he was going to be this big. I mean, he had 12 interceptions last year. He had 3 against Florida alone. Like, I think he's extremely overhyped, and I think that the reason Miami looked so good last year was because of Cam Ward. Not to say that their offense sucks now, but you put Carson Beck in there, a quarterback who I think is overrated. I don't see them having the same season as last.
All right, final minute of the show. Next time you guys are on the air at some point next week, what are you going to be talking about coming out of the Florida LIU game?
Clean game, no mistakes. None of the 2 players were on the same numbers. Nothing stupid. Make a clean game. Do what you want to do.
Lauren?
I agree. I want to see all 3 quarterbacks play, though, so I'm excited to see how Aiden Warner plays and Harrison Bailey plays.
All 3 or all 4?
Just the first 3.
Okay, just the first 3. Cardozo and Dooley are up next. I'm Kevin Wechter. Thanks to Lauren McGill, Michael Tubbs, Nick Abreu, Hannah Getman. Tailgate, Cardozo and Dooley is next. Have a great Wednesday, everyone, on your ride home here on WRUF.
If it happens in